Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cam Hayward details conversation he had with Russell Wilson before signing with Steelers. Cam Hayward was one of several Pittsburgh Steelers to make the sales pitch to Russell Wilson. Their words paid off, Wilson choosing the Steelers over other suitors. Now poised to be the team's starting quarterback this season, Hayward is revealing what his conversation was like in the lead-up to Wilson's decision. Appearing on Up and Adams Thursday morning, Hayward said he spoke with Wilson earlier this year, cluing him in on what Pittsburgh is like. "I was out at a conference in Arizona," Hayward told host Kay Adams. "And then I came back to my room and me and Russ just talked for about 2 hours. We talked ball. I know he was having conversations with the Steelers. The main thing I told him was just, this isn't the place for glitz and glamour. It's not LA, it's not Atlanta. This is the place where the gladiators come and we're gonna compete every day." Just hearing from him, he was receptive to that. While Hayward didn't confirm it, this appears to be the FaceTime call Wilson told reporters he had with Hayward. Speaking to the media in March, Wilson cited that conversation as one reason why he signed with Pittsburgh over other interested teams like the New York Giants and Las Vegas Raiders. "We got to talk. And it was this cool experience of a guy who's been at the top of his game for so long, but also a man who's made a difference in a community," Wilson said on March 15. "A guy who's made a difference, not just in Pittsburgh, but around the country and just all the things he's done." Hayward and Wilson are Walter Payton Man of the Year award recipients. Wilson won it in 2020 while Hayward took home the award this past season. Pittsburgh is building a throwback, old-school team. One focused on building up their offensive line, the Steelers investing their top 2 picks in the front 5 this year after spending a first-round pick on an offensive tackle last season. New offensive coordinator Arthur Smith is as run-heavy a coach as there is in football, ranking top 10 in rushing attempts 4 out the past 5 years. And the Steelers have a great backfield duo in RBs Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. All that should take the pressure off Wilson compared to his past 2 years in Denver, viewed as the franchise savior after acquired in a mammoth trade from Seattle. The Broncos also had little running game, finishing 17th and 21st in 2022 and 2023 in yards per carry. Kenny Pickett keeping positive mindset as Eagles' backup QB, change is a great thing. Just a little over 4 months ago, the local and national media were debating whether the Pittsburgh Steelers would re-sign QB Mason Rudolph to compete for the starting job against Kenny Pickett. He showed glimpses of promise, particularly at the end of his rookie season in 2022, but Pickett largely struggled with just 13 total touchdown passes and 4,474 passing yards in 24 starts over 2 years. That prompted the Steelers to sign Russell Wilson at the start of free agency and started a chain of events that resulted in Pickett being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles and Justin Fields being acquired in a trade with the Chicago Bears. Reports indicated that Pickett felt misled about the nature of the quarterback competition after Wilson was brought in and ended up requesting his way out of town. Now he is the unquestioned backup to QB Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles. It is impossible to say with certainty, but Pickett probably had a better chance of playing had he remained with the Steelers. Despite finding himself on the bench just a couple years after being a first-round pick, he is keeping a positive attitude. "Change is a great thing. I'm going through it right now. I was in Pittsburgh for 7 years and now I'm over in Philadelphia," Pickett said at a high school sports event via Ben Istvan of the Philadelphia Inquirer. "I think a lot of people probably have some negative views on change, but that's really just your outlook on it. I think if you keep a positive mindset, it'll all work out for the better." While it may have been the incorrect decision for the trajectory of his career, you can't blame Pickett for wanting some change. He spent both of his Steelers seasons under Matt Canada's abysmal offensive system and then lost his starting job while he was briefly out injured at the end of last season. He probably would have been a backup this season regardless, but with no other QBs under contract in 2025, he would have at least had a chance to earn his job back next year with the Steelers. "The world has enough doubters," Pickett said. "There are plenty of people that are doubting. That's probably the majority of people that are out there in the media, fan bases. But, coaches, family members, if you turn your mind around and try and prove them right and what they believe in you, you'll be in a more positive mindset." By the end of his starting tenure in Pittsburgh, public sentiment was at an all-time low on Pickett. The offense was routinely being booed by the home crowd at Acrisure Stadium. "I can't imagine it was a very enjoyable experience for him, so perhaps a change of scenery is what was best." Will Steelers bring back Patrick Peterson after Sutton's suspension news? The NFL announced this week that they are suspending Pittsburgh Steelers CB Cameron Sutton for 8 games. Everybody anticipated that the NFL would suspend Sutton, though 8 games is on the longer side of those expectations. Given the length of his absence, thoughts of replacements naturally surfaced, and Patrick Peterson's name took center stage. The Steelers signed Peterson last year as a full-time outside starter to begin the season. By year's end, however, he also played liberally both in the slot and at safety. If they were to re-sign him, he would play in the slot, where Sutton is expected to play. Released 1 year into a 2-year, $14 million deal, Patrick Peterson could be looking at a veteran salary benefit contract at this point. Recently opining over the state of the veteran defensive back market, he has not drawn much of any attention. While he said months ago that the Steelers left the door open to re-sign him, there have been no indications that they have reached out since then. Following the news of Sutton's lengthy suspension, however, Patrick Peterson may be back on the table. He is certainly back in the news cycle as a possible option for the Steelers. Without Sutton, the Steelers are juggling a combination of journeymen with limited experience and rookies with notable flaws. You have Josiah Scott and Grayland Arnold as the chief representatives of the latter and Beanie Bishop Jr. and Ryan Watts in the latter. Peterson comes with his own set of flaws, including age and limited slot experience, but he is an option. One thing the Steelers have strived to do in recent years is provide healthy competition. Signing Patrick Peterson would not preclude a player like Bishop from claiming the job, but it makes him earn it. Not that Peterson has any interest in losing a battle and sitting on the bench. But it's better than sitting on the couch. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Patrick Peterson? Leave your opinion in the comments.